Hello everyone, I am King Mac, and I would like to thank you all for watching this feature presentation on YouTube. Be sure to enjoy a hot fresh cheeseburger along with some french fries, a tasty milkshake, and a nice soft drink. Thank you for watching, and now here is our feature presentation of TTBurger game reviews on YouTube.
But it's too late now. I remember you and me, and how careless we be.
Hello, my friends. How you all doing today? You're watching TTBurger game reviews on YouTube, and I'm your host, Tony. And we're back with some more game reviews here. Today we're looking at a flying game by the company Konami, and we all know about the company Konami. They created games like Castlevania, Metal Gear, and Contra, and Silent Hill, and more and more and more. And before I get started, I want to give a shout out to Freakin' HD and SubZeroMNX and for everyone who has supported this channel for the last 6 years. Thank you all for the love and support you give me. For without you guys, this channel would not be experienced today. Once again, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all. And like I said, today we're talking about a flying game by Konami. And flight comic games need no introduction. They've been around for like a long time. PlayStation 2, Nintendo GameCube, and more and more. The PlayStation 2 had a few franchises on there, like that the Ace Combat franchise continuing. They had Lethal Skies and more and more and more. But I never really talked about one franchise I never really talked about and touched on was the AirForce Delta franchise. And there were 4 games in the franchise on the Sega Saturn and Xbox and Dreamcast and stuff. But we're going to be looking at the game released on the PlayStation 2, and this was the 3rd game in the franchise. And the AirForce Delta series by Konami was a game that played like an anime and a flying game at the same time, which is where we're going to come to today. And we got the game right here. This is AirForce Delta Strike, the PlayStation 2 exclusively released on February 3rd, 2004. Now, AirForce Delta Strike is a great flight combat game. Though Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies was better, this is still a must-buy here. To me, this game is what Ace Combat 3 Electric Sphere should have been. We all know the story behind the version of Ace Combat Electric Sphere that got released outside Japan. The story was scrapped, and the voice acting was scrapped, and the missions, and some of the missions were taken out, and more. But this is a different story here. AirForce Delta Strike definitely has fun factor to it, and it should not be overlooked. But it has some problems, though, that we'll get to later, but we gotta get started here. Surprisingly, this game has a story, and it is a good story, a little weird at times, but the story is actually deeper than like most of the Ace Combat games actually, because like the Ace Combat stories are like basically like a guy narrating what's going on, just basically mission briefs like that, talking about a character or so. But here we get a deeper story here. The story takes place in the near future. The year is unknown, they don't tell you. With an orbital sensing community, a space colony orbiting Earth attacks the planet to gain control of it. Meanwhile, the Earth Defense Alliance Force launches a defensive campaign, but they see they have no help to defend Earth. So they call for any militia to help them, even the bad-famed Delta Squadron, in any way they can to help them. I like the story. I thought it was pretty cool for sure, but a little weird time to some of the characters, but that's just me though. The presentation for AirForce Delta Strike has great graphics for a PlayStation 2 game released in 2004. The aircraft models look fantastic, almost on par with the Ace Combat 4 Shattered Sky aircraft models, and the backgrounds look good too. The cutscenes are basically still images of the characters. There's talking with like while their character model animation gestures around stuff like that. It feels like an anime aircraft series at the time. The pre-rendered cutscenes are the best, but there's not many scenes of them though. But still, the graphics are great. Sound, I was kind of the opposite on the sound. I mean, the graphics were great, but the sound was not so much. The music is awesome. Kick-ass Japanese rock tunes are the best part of the sound. But the voice acting though is awful. You only have an option to listen to the English audio, and it is so bad. Like, so bad. It's... the voice acting is so bad. And, like, they dead read your lines like they're in some room and stuff like that, and there's some, like, echoey feedback to them at times, too. And not only that, the worst part is that the characters never shut up or stop talking. Like, during missions, they'll repeat themselves over and over, they'll say the same thing over and over again, and it's ear rape. And there's also scenes where there's no voice acting at all, there's just around. But to me, there are times where it's a breath of fresh air to hear silence from the voices, because, hey, But to me, my main complaint about the voice acting, aside from it being bad and phoned in, why was there no option for the Japanese speech? It would have been less ear rape than the awful English voices here. And you know, I wish they would have done that because Konami and other companies didn't put Japanese audio in the games. Or at least North American people who didn't like the English, they would have just switched to Japanese. But I don't know why they didn't do that. But yeah, like dear Lord, make it stop! They don't shut up. Dear Lord, help us! Make it stop! Make it stop! But the other sound effects, like the weapons and the aircraft engines, are decent though, so that's good. The gameplay has fun moments, but there are some flaws that do hamper it. For starters, this is a flight combat game with an anime code of pay on it. You go on missions, you converse with your squad mates, you upgrade your aircraft, buy new ones, choose certain missions, pick a character, and more. You spend most of the time playing as the main protagonist, Ken Thomas. You can play as other characters too, like Ruth Valentine, who's the second protagonist, John Rundai, Jamie Jones, Rick Campbell, Alex Levine, Hoist, Prendre, Brian Douglas, and more. Each character has their own personality and own aircraft and fit the game well, even though some of the characters can come off as unlikable at times, like they'll have like a snobby attitude, where they'll be like, I don't care, I'm Ken Thomas, that's all I need to say, goodbye, leave me alone. And Ken Thomas can come off as unlikable that a little bit too, because he's kind of like one of those characters who's like those pouty characters, just doesn't want to talk much so, but you learn he's got a past that haunts him and stuff. A little spoiler there. They each have their own colored aircraft too, like I mentioned, and you can get them painted and get secondary weapons too. I like playing as both Ken Thomas and Ruth Valentine the best, since they're the two main characters there. But that's just me though. You can also spend time at the base talking to your squad mates and boss to prepare you for the missions. When playing a mission, your goal is simple. Complete the objectives by eliminating enemy targets, flying alone in a narrow canyon or ravine to avoid enemy fire, and more and more. AirForce Delta Strike definitely plays like Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies and Lethal Skies 2. Konami definitely delivered with the flight combat genre for sure. With 23 missions, while you don't play them all in single player because you get the option to choose certain missions in certain parts of the game, it's still a good amount to have. There's a small problem, which I'll get to right now, in the negatives. The missions, half of them are short, and you beat them in minutes or so. Some of them can take a little longer than that, but still, half of them are short. The enemy AI has some balancing issues in the difficulty as well and stuff, like, sometimes they'll be round your tail, or at times they'll be like so stupid. Some of the aircraft start off with little energy, and they can get shot down easily, and once you fail a mission or so, you get scolded, and you gotta like repair your aircraft and try the mission again or so like that. And the voice acting and the fact that the character's not shut up and just someone comes off as annoying in the missions also, and no Japanese audio. And while it's cool to talk to your teammates and boss at the base, they do not add much to the game, and it comes off as like wasting time. There's no autosave feature. The only way to save is at the base. I mean, games like Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies give you the option to save your game after you complete a mission, but here you have to go to the base, just press the start button and save. If you get the save and stuff, you die, you're in trouble. And the controls may take some time to get used to, since triangle uses your machine gun and L1 changes the targets like that, so it could take a little time to get used to, those of you who played Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies or so. And like I said, some of the characters are unlikable and stuff, but it's still an enjoyable game for sure. I'm still going to give it a good score, definitely. Final thoughts: if you like flight combat games, you want a flight combat game with an anime code of pay on it, AirForce Delta Strike is the way to go for sure. I give it an 8 out of 10 because of the problems I had with it. It's a game that should not be overlooked if you want a flying game for sure, and if you want some more flying action stories that to compete with Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies and Lethal Skies 2. Which all I gotta say there, if you'd like to see here, subscribe, like the video, comment down below, join my Discord group, TTBurger Gamers United, and my Facebook group, TTBurger Gamers Group, along with my Facebook page called TTBurger. Which all I gotta say, this is Tony, peace and out, have a good day, see you all in episode 210 of my gaming reviews. What will we cover next? Find out. All I gotta say, take care everybody. Like a good drug, never run. We hook up